Are you tired of that age-old grind, slapping up mobs until the end of time? Well, I'm here to tell you about another path to take in MapleStory, a road far less traveled to reach the top. I'm talking about becoming the most charming Mapler. No one achieves this title overnight. It's a slog, a down and dirty grind of its own, if you will. Let's start from the beginning. Upon reaching level 30 in the charm trait, the characters of MapleStory start to take notice. We head on over to Lana, who comes on strong by saying, "Not everyone can be a star." Ha! Let me be the judge of that. We're hot stuff on our road to being the most charming Mapler. And if we ever hope to achieve that title, we need to act the part. As it turns out, who better to teach us than Lana, CEO of the most renowned big hit records? Well known for their big hits, like, that one that was popular. Yeah, perfect for the job. My hopes are high. I'm aiming to be a beloved actor like Pacino. But humble as I am, I'm tempering my expectations to be more like a Jack Black, praying to God I don't turn out like Kevin Spacey. Lana tells us it's super easy. All I need to do is learn facial expressions. Acting's that easy, huh? However, there are so many of them, and it's not so simple to change your face just like that. We have to character act and observe people with the expressions I want to recreate. She suggests we start by heading over to Chief Stan in Hennessy's. When we ask Chief Stan to observe him, he's confused to say the least. He seems unhappy about the request and stares us down with his perpetual frown. Being the up-and-coming star of the Maple world, we mimic him by rolling our eyes into the back of our head and open our mouths to... Yeah, I think we're taking the Kevin Spacey route. Back to Lana, and ever the wiser with her Chief Stan experience, she asks if we are ready for the next lesson. A little scared, but hopeful, we head over to Hersha and Alinea for our next lesson. Apparently, that experience just doesn't leave you the same, as Hersha sends us packing, claiming we're looking like a queasy. Yeah, I can see the resemblance. And for some reason, we have to go collect 450 queasy tails to bring back to her. This scares her nearly to death as she mistakes them for snakes. Mimicking that moment of surprise, we learn the "whoa, whoa" expression. Slight riff here, but this quest translations and item translations just don't match up throughout the entire quest. So if you're confused, imagine how tough it is to organize the clips for this video. With those two most crucial acting lessons out of the way, Lana hits us with some flattery, saying we seem more charming every time we connect. Let me tell you, Lana, I'm swooning. Our next lesson will be on speechless expression, or, as Lana puts it, when common people are faced with uncommon situations. Being the most charming Mapler I am, I would know nothing about what commoners do. Perfect lesson for me, I suppose. Dr. Betty and Alinea should be able to model this. We get a little tidbit about her being married with kids. Time to slide into her DMs. We try our best, but all she wants to talk about is research. So I tell her about D's, and, well, you know how that ends. In a marriage proposal? Yeah, I bet you thought I was about to say some lame squirrel joke, but instead, we're out here making moves. Betty is just as baffled, and we learn the speechless expression. Our repertoire is growing, and now that we've burned bridges with about half of the Maple World characters, it's time to learn the puking expression. That will really spice up my acting career. Lana gives us a Shakespearean account of this long-lost art and tells us to go to Chef Tang Yun in Nautilus. Once there, I receive Lana's special order. Much like Gordon Ramsay's famous grilled cheese, Tang Yun is confident in his dish, but once we learn what's inside, we just about throw up and learn the queasy expression. Becoming ever the master in our craft, we go to Lana, who really butters us up this time, saying she can't believe we chose the road over the posh excess of a celebrity. Like I have a choice. In order to take my acting to the next level, I need to learn the sleepy expression. Essentially, mimic my audience right now. To learn this expression, we have to turn some porkers into bacon at Pig Beach. Somehow, the squalls of dying pigs sets nearby Calico fast asleep, and we observe him while passed out to learn the drool expression. Alright, super creepy, but I really can't avoid the Kevin Spacey route at this point. I'm in too deep. But I'm determined to turn this tragedy into a comedy, so we head back to Lana for the 6th time to learn the silly, rude, and cute raspberry expression, and apparently this is best learned by someone young. I swear to God, the game devs have a really bad habit of unintentionally making these initial jokes go way too far, and I won't do it this time. But it turns out, well, we learned that sticking your tongue out and blowing a raspberry is how fairies say thanks, but no thanks. And so we learned what can only be described as the Dalai Lama expression. Our acting career is really off to a rocky start. Like any good artist, we face tragedy that really inspires our future performance. And it all starts with grinding 600 stone golem rubble. Alright, side note, seriously, this is such an unnecessary grind. As a quick tip, you can actually trade these items between your characters, so go ahead and store these away if you want to quickly unlock these expressions later. Once we're done with that grind, we bring this pile of garbage over to Camilla, who cries, so we learn the teary expression. And defames us for our efforts. God, I quit. How can I be the most charming Mapler without the most charming amount of fame? I took about a week hiatus after that, but sucker for more, I go crawling back to Lana, who I'm sure by this point is taunting us by assuming we are too good to sign with her. Lady, I will take anything at this point. She says I can make a killing. Where? Oh, if I pay another hour of my time for your masterclass in acting? Well, I'm suckered in, so here we go again. To do this, I need to eat a spicy dish, and Alphonse Green is just the person to learn from, as he can't handle the heat. So we get a fruit called Nepenteth to give to this poor man, and I'm so jaded by this point, I only allow him to say, that bread, before the fruit does its magic and we learn the fire breath expression. Next, we get a tip from Lana that Rin's the assistant, Orbis, will be a good model for the cheering expression if we give her scissor hands. So now I'm just essentially running errands for B-list horror film characters. To my surprise, the whole experience is genuinely pleasant, and we learn the sweetness expression. You know, these lessons are really starting to pick up steam, and our next task is learn how to wink. This truly brings the charm out of a charming person, according to Lana. This is actually super funny to me because my girlfriend doesn't know how to wink, and I tease her by doing this literally all the time. Back to the game, Lana says this takes a lot of practice, and Siren and Arian is just constantly twitching one eye as one of her key talents is winking. A well-renowned winker, if you will. That kind of sounds wrong. Apparently she can teach us, but she'll have to charge her winking brings all the boys to the yard, and yeah, that was kind of cringy. But we ended up in her yard, and through her expert coaching, we pick up the winking expression. With only a few expressions left, Lana tells us we must learn to express our unbridled anger to the world through rage. So I assume I'm supposed to put MapleStory down for a few minutes and go for a drive. Actually wasn't too far off, as she tells us on a voyage, Sunny lost her gloves to a crimson balrog. You know, as one does on their travels. And if I bring those gloves back to Sunny, apparently she's going to be angry. It turns out to be the case, as she flames the balrog for tearing up her gloves, teaching us the flaming expression, perfect for a League of Legends lobby. Finally the juice seems to be worth the squeeze. As we head back to Lana, we finally learn what she's been hinting at all along. The 12th lesson will be on kissing. Yes! I can tell she is an expert, as she exquisitely describes that to kiss you, you need to stick out your lips like a fish. And I'm so ready for my smooch. But she stonewalls us and sends us over to Plastic Roy in Orbis, a master of the kiss. Trusting her good judgment, I bring this Pinocchio-looking man a diamond, and then he hits us with solid flattery and tells us a beautiful person such as myself only needs to pucker their lips. Thus, we learn the smoochies expression. I'm actually feeling quite charming at this point. Nearing the pinnacle of charm, we start the 13th acting lesson, learning how to make our eyes sparkle, really pop, you know? But for this one, we don't just need charm, we need strength. To prove our strength, we show Minnie and Ludibrium our skills by clapping the cheeks of some Vikings in the clock tower. Starstruck by our feats, we learn the Ray expression from her. Apparently, we are so good, because when we head back to Lana, we skip the 14th lesson and head straight to the 15th. Couldn't possibly be a typo. There would never be anything like that in this pristine questline. For this, we will need to learn the googly eyes expression, and of course, everyone knows what that means, so I head to the craft store to stick some googly eyes on my character. But in actuality, she wants me to get 425 harp's tail feathers for Pam. After bringing these over to Pam, we learned that, googly eyes expression. I mean, sparkling eyes. I'm starting to get real suspicious of Lana here and also the game devs. But it's no matter, as our time with her is coming to an end. Upon talking to Lana for the final time, we find her mentioning Blake, and oh my god, I can't believe this man got mentioned again in this game. She's working with the literal human garbage bin. She calls him B-list, and I hope that stands for blacklisted. Please watch episode 2 of this series for a full rundown. She didn't realize we walked up during this conversation, and she gets jumpy saying she's on edge lately. Ugh. Another one of Blake's victims. She brushes that under the rug and tells us to go talk to Alex to learn how to express love. Once we get there, we can clearly see that this jaded man does not seem to be in love, so we head back to Lana, who seems a bit put off by the notion. But she suggests we're just so charming at this point that we don't need to mimic anyone, we can just practice on her. Dear Lord, I've been waiting for this moment the entire time. So I ready myself, muster up the most loving expression I can think of, but knowing how it might seem to others if Lana and I were to be seen together, she brushes it aside and has just super impressive acting skills. She tells us that we'll likely be a celebrity one day with how charming we've become, but for now, big hit records will have to give up on me. Sadly, the road to becoming the most charming Mapler ends in tragedy. True heartbreak. But through it all, we managed to earn the Oozing Charm achievement. At least, I'm one step closer to becoming a Maple Master. To help lift my spirits, please blow your most loving smoochie at that like button and subscribe to see videos similar to this one. Thank you.